Welcome, everyone, to the Creative Crafters podcast. And today we have a very special guest, and we have Diane of AuntDi's Crafts. Now, she bought her first Cricut over 16 years ago that she could make her own cards. And now she gets to work with Cricut, being part of their Canadian Cricut crew and also their Community Leaders program. She also runs one of the bigger English Canadian Facebook groups, Cricut Create Canada. From crafting to teaching, she absolutely loves it all. So welcome, Diane. I am so excited about having you here. Can you just tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself and about your company and how it came about?
Oh, most definitely. And thank you for having me. I'm so looking forward to doing all this with you. So, like 16 years ago, it's been a long time since I bought that first Cricut, and it was originally just to make cards. That progressed to me starting to actually make and sell items, doing the craft shows. And I enjoyed that very much for quite a few years. But I started finding that there was a hole in the truthfully, the Cricut Facebook world, and it was lacking in things specifically for Canada. It was hard to find products that you would see influencers or thing that they sell down in the States up here. So I started the Facebook group for that reason. And so that other Canadians can connect and we can help each other find products that we needed for doing our Cricut crafting and loving. From there, I realized that I actually liked to teach the craft a lot more and share my experiences with it. So I continued more on that role and slowly went away from the selling of my stuff that I made. And so now I'm here where I am, and lucky for me, I've been able to make a connection with Cricut themselves. Because of that, I'm now part of their Cricut Crew Canada group, which means I go around and do store demonstrations for them, or I'll go and do like one of the big craft fairs for them. I'm also a community Cricut leader because of my Facebook involvement. And because of this, I get to meet a lot of the great cap artists and employees of Cricut, and I get to share a little bit more info with everybody sometimes.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. So, what part of the crafting do you love the best?
The teaching, the getting to meet other people. I love doing that. That's one of the main drives for me. But I do like the creating, the being able to pretty much whatever I dream I can make. And I like that. It's fun. It's coming up with new things and putting my stamp on it.
Yeah, exactly. So, where do you find the inspiration for doing a lot of your projects?
From my members.
Wow.
I find a lot of, right from my members. I find that there's so many creative people out there, and that's where I draw most of my inspirations from.
Sounds like a very interactive Facebook group that you have. So it sounds like lots of interaction, lots of things they're doing, lots of things they're sharing. Can other people join that as well?
We do our best, honestly, to keep it Canadian only.
So the inspiration generally comes from all of your members. That is absolutely fabulous. I mean, that really makes sense because there are tons of creative people out there, and just tapping into them and understanding where they're coming from. They don't necessarily want to teach it, but they do create a lot of stuff. So it's so good to hear that, listening to other people and getting your inspiration. Are there other places you get inspiration as well?
I do a lot of searching of the videos that are out there through the different means like YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. And from other people I've connected through the different programs that I'm involved in with Cricut. So yeah, they're a great inspiration.
Now, you talk about you work with alongside Cricut and then you're doing your own thing. That sounds like a lot of work and must keep you so busy. How do you handle doing both?
I don't overly. I also have a full-time job that I'm away from the home 10 hours a day. So yeah, I don't sleep a whole lot.
No, I wouldn't.
Would be the best way I can say it. I do have a small little team that helps me with the groups, and I have one girl that helps me a little bit with some of my Cricut stuff. But overall, I live Cricut pretty much.
Yeah, because to me, that's probably the most challenging aspect is just juggling everything and making sure that you have
Oh,
your own sanity and your own creativity to take care of at the same time.
definitely, definitely. When I was doing, before I started working full time, I actually would put in 12-hour days just with all the online stuff that there is to take care of.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm in awe.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in absolute awe. So when you're doing designs and things, do you have a favorite
Oh, thank
material
you.
you like to work with? A favorite material?
Um, cardstock. It was my first material I ever tried, and it's still my favorite. Still my favorite.
So I imagine it's
I
not
am
just cards you're making.
No, I'm actually in the process of making a 4 foot tall 3D Cricut cutie.
Wow,
Yeah, 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 the Cricut cutie. I'm in the process of making him out of bristle board, and he's going to be about 4 feet tall,
that's
but
amazing.
3D.
Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. Now, we had a
Yeah,
conversation a while back where you had uh Cricut cuties in vinyl all over your vehicle. That sounded like a fun project as well. That was a few months ago, I
I
guess.
did.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
so,
I used to have over 500 of them.
that's absolutely incredible. So what are you
Yeah.
finding the most rewarding?
Now it's covered in the most rewarding. There's so much. Just, you know what, to be honest, it's going to be the people I get to meet.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you.
Um, yeah, yeah, that the crafting, yeah, just yeah, the people that I get to meet. I was just down in Utah, actually, in Salt Lake City with a group from Cricut, and it was phenomenal just getting to meet these people.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. And I'm always in awe, especially when we do like a speaker search and we pick hand picking people. I'm going, people come out of the woodwork that are so creative. And I'm going, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I hope they have time to spend with us. And I'm so happy that
Oh,
you were able to do that.
yeah,
So happy with
yeah,
it. So
it was fun.
yeah, it's just they have different groups and different things. Even when you attend summits, and to me, this is the important part, you get to meet a lot of people inside the Facebook group. Now, we use our general Facebook group, which has about 12,000 members. So they get to interact with people taking those classes as well and looking at what the presenters
Exactly.
are. So that
Yeah.
is really key. You get to know people, whether you meet them face to face or not. And that's an amazing part of it. And I can see where you are everywhere. So you're going to meet probably 10 times the people most of us would ever be able to meet. I'm going to ask you
It's
one
been
last
fun.
question about what advice would you give someone who is interested, not necessarily in doing what you do, but getting into doing crafting using a Cricut?
Well, if you are one, actually, I'll share with you what I tell everybody. If you're actually thinking about buying a Cricut, go to Design Space online first. It is free to use and try. This way you get to see and play around with it and find out if it's something that's for you or something that you're even going to get the hang of before you spend the money. I know Cricut doesn't like me saying that too much, but it's true. That would be my first tip to anybody who is thinking of going and buying a Cricut.
Yeah,
Make sure it is for you first.
yeah, I can understand that because, I get a number of people that come to my classes and they bought it months ago and they still haven't taken it out of the box. They're intimidated by design space instead of learning about it first
Exactly.
and then worrying about getting the equipment. I think it's that
Exactly.
human tendency to want,
Exactly.
oh, this is the new one.
That's right. Everyone wants to jump in. And the other thing is when it does come to crafting itself, remember, we're always all learning. I'm still learning. Talking about the big Cricut cutie I'm making. I'm actually getting ready to make my second one because the first one, the person didn't put it together too well. So we're always learning. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work the first time. Try it again.
Yeah, that is absolutely fabulous advice. So just back to the listeners, AuntDi, and it's AuntDi's Crafts. Is it AuntDi'sCrafts.com? And just make sure that you take a look at the links below this podcast, just so you can get a hold of Diane. And Diane, are there other places where people can find you?
You can find me on Facebook. I do have a page, AuntDi's Crafts. I also have the Canadian group, Cricut Crate Canada. And I also have another one that is open to everybody. It is Cricut with AuntDi. So feel free to join me. I'd love to see you guys.
Yeah, that would be absolutely fabulous. And thank you once again for being our guest, Creative Crafters Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.